In this very brief video, I want to go through the concept of limiting reactant and excess reactant with something other than chemistry. I want to take us out of the sort of these, I don't know what you want to call it, surreal, whatever. And I want to put it in something very practical that you understand. So we'll use hamburgers and automobiles. So here is a very simple chemical equation, if you want to call it that. It's the formula for a cheeseburger. Yes, I know in the picture there's lettuce, but just ignore the lettuce. We're looking at making the cheeseburger. The recipe, the equation, the formula for making a cheeseburger is 1 patty plus 1 bun. This is a 1 whole bun, plus 1 slice of cheese yields the cheeseburger. That seems very simple. What if I had 4 patties, 3 buns, and 5 slices of cheese? How many cheeseburgers could you make? I bet you very quickly decided that you could make 3. So it's 3 burgers. Now, how did you know that? Most of you went really quickly and did the mental math to figure out that you had fewer buns than everything else. One reason you were able to do it so easily in your head this time was because everything in our quote-unquote equation here was 1-to-1 ratio. 4 patties, 3 buns, 5 cheese. The smallest number there is 3. That's your limiting reactant. And then what you did was take that limiting reactant, the 3 buns, and you did a ratio that for every 1 bun, you make 1 cheeseburger, so therefore 3 buns gave you 3 cheeseburgers. You did all that in your head. Now let me ask you a little bit of a different question here. How many patties are excess? I bet you really quickly said 1. And that's one of the most difficult things students do in this unit, is figuring out excess reactant. But I want us to now think, how did you know the answer was 1? I know it's common sense, but what did your brain physically do to figure that out? Well, again, your brain had to figure out that buns were limiting, and so your brain did a little stoichiometry. There's a 1-to-1 ratio patty to bun, so your brain calculated that for 3 buns you would be required to use 3 patties. You had 4, so if you use 3, then logically 1 would be excess, and that's what your brain went through. I'm showing you this because when you get confused in a chemistry problem about finding limiting and excess, I want you to think about something real simple like making cheeseburgers, and think about the thinking cognitively. How did you come up? How do we come up with excess? How do we come up with the idea of limiting? Very simply. So let's do another example here. This time we're going to make a car. It's 1 body plus 4 tires yields 1 complete automobile. I'm asking this problem because it is not a 1-to-1 ratio. It's 1 car, 4 tires. So in this problem, I have 3 bodies, and I'm going to react that with 8 tires. So how many cars will I be able to make? If you just picked 3 because you have fewer bodies, you did this one incorrectly. You have to remember that tires are being used faster. They're being used more at a time. So we're actually going to be able to make 2 cars. And that's because each one of these bodies would require 4 tires. So I run out very quickly of my 8 tires after just a combination of 2 bodies to make the 2 cars. So we know the limiting is the tires. What's excess? Well, this one has to be excess, the bodies. How many are excess? Obviously 1, because 8 tires allows me to only fix 2 cars. If I have 3, I can fix 2, then 1 is excess. So it really doesn't get any more complicated than that. Again, students sometimes make it more difficult when you see all these chemistry numbers. You forget how simple this concept really can be.